Tonight, you can find out why Washington state law may keep some students in the Pullman School District from attending class on Monday.
Also, we'll let you know about a major event on the Palouse that has been 20 years in the making. Murrow News 8
From the Northwest
now.
Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Celeste Harms.
And I'm Malou Santos. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
Police arrested a Pullman man after allegedly finding heroin, meth, and illegal firearms at his residence, according to the Moscow Pullman Daily News. The Whitman County Sheriff wrote in a news release that the Quad Cities Drug Task Force and the Whitman County SWAT team obtained a search warrant for the residence. They allegedly found 1 ounce of heroin, 2 ounces of meth, and a long rifle, as well as 2 handguns, one of which was allegedly stolen. The items allegedly belonged to 38-year-old Patrick Jones. He was arrested on 3 federal charges, according to Moscow Pullman Daily News.
A Moscow man has been sentenced in U.S. District Court for charges of possessing child pornography. According to the Moscow Pullman Daily News, on Thursday, U.S. District Judge David Nye sentenced 36-year-old Robert Wisdom to 5 years and 3 months in prison. Wisdom will be added to the sex offenders registry. This ruling comes after Wisdom pleaded guilty to possessing child pornography in December. According to the Moscow Pullman Daily News, back in 2017, a Moscow PD detective was alerted to a local IP address that uploaded child porn. Detectives obtained a search warrant on Wisdom's home, seized several electronic devices, and found more than 200 videos and 2,000 images of minors engaged in sex acts.
WSU has named its first global campus chancellor. WSU President Kirk Schultz appointed the Vice President of WSU Academic Outreach and Innovation, Dave Sillay, to the chancellor position. According to WSU Insider, WSU is one of the first public universities nationally to use the same chancellor-level leadership structure for its online campus as it does for its physical campus.
The Eggert Family Organic Farm is hosting the annual harvest party tomorrow. The event will offer kids games, face painting, pumpkin pie, and fresh pressed cider. There'll be you-pick pumpkins for sale, including jack-o'-lanterns, gourds, and baby pumpkins. The festivities will take place from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. After being closed for over a month, the Pullman Airport is back up and running. Murrow News 8's Gunnar Peterson looked into the new technology at the airport.
The Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport reopened and with some promising new additions. Many spokesmen of their respected fields and organizers who came about to make the new runway a reality came to this new local showcase. Members spoke of the new additions and what these new additions entail.
The runway length, it's 7,100 feet, the other one's 67, it's 150 feet wide, that one was 100. But the ILS is the instrument approach, that gets us reliability.
ILS stands for Instrument Landing System and is a series of radars that is placed at the end of runways. Those dishes at the end of the runways send out radio frequencies to incoming planes that are trying to land to make sure they are maintaining a correct descent, which in the end helps pilots coming in navigate through bad weather.
A mile and a half out, 500 feet up, that's when the pilot has to see this runway, has to see the lights of the runway. Now with ILS, it gets down to just a half mile and 200 feet.
Now with the implementation of this new runway, flights like these actually can go to Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport.
This is just a fantastic improvement for Pullman.
With new flight systems like the ILS helping bigger planes fly through worse weather and systems seeking approval and on the way, the local airport will be big enough to serve, but still small enough to care. Gunnar Peterson, Murrow News 8.
A Washington law went into effect in July, and the policy will no longer allow for personal exemptions for the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. The policy requires students to either get vaccinated or claim a religious or medical exemption in order to attend public school. The vaccination exemption deadline was Friday, and students in the Pullman School District who did not show proof of compliance will not be able to return to class on Monday. And over 75% of Spokane children aren't ready for kindergarten by the time they're supposed to start. A new Washington State report card study measures categories like language literacy, math, social factors, and more, and found that the large majority of Spokane kindergartners were not prepared for the start of the school year last year. Pullman fared well as nearly 70% of youngsters are kindergarten ready.
Local firefighters are signing a thin red line flag to honor a fallen brother. Captain Michael Bell of Farmington, Maine, died in a gas explosion on September 16th. The flag began its journey to Farmington in Colfax before heading to Moscow. The flag will stop in Lewiston next.
Coming up, you can find what WSU sports team is in contention for a championship title
when Murrow News 8 returns.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Days, months,
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
years,
I'd like to give you this.
a lifetime can rush by without realizing what we're missing. We lose some of the best moments, some that may never repeat,
Come on.
or detach from people around us. Our loved ones grow used to this pattern, but it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. It's never too late to live a full life again. Hear how many of us Vietnam veterans have managed our mental health and reconnected with our families. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
WSU's women's soccer took a loss at home last night against the University of Arizona. After 2 hours and 14 minutes, the game ended 1-0. U of A's Kelsey Cavara was the only one to score. Haley Pearson had 1 assist, and Hope Heisey had 4 saves. WSU's Ella Diederich got 3 saves. Wazoo has 9 wins under their belt and 3 losses. The Wazoo football team is heading down to Arizona to play against the Arizona State Sun Devils. The game is tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Here's what the head coach, Mike Leach, has to say about the Devils.
They feel good about their defensive line. They do play off you, but then in certain situations they're very aggressive. They play man. They blitz more than Utah does.
The Cougs are 3-2, and ASU is 4-1. We're going to toss it over to the Weather Center. Logan Plant. What kind of weather are the Cougs in for in Arizona?
Hey, thanks, Corbin. Last weekend just wasn't the same without any Cougar football. Glad they're back in action this Saturday down in Arizona. We take a look here. Kickoffs at 12:30. It's going to be 85 degrees down in Tempe with winds of 7 miles an hour. So those kicks shouldn't be affected too much by the gusts. Later in the afternoon, about the time the second half kicks off, it'll be around 90 or 91 degrees. Much different story than what we're seeing here in Pullman and all across Washington. We'll get to the local forecast a little bit later in the broadcast. For now, Corbin, send it back to you.
Thank you, Logan. The WSU volleyball team returns to Bowler Gym for the first time since knocking off the number 8 Washington 2 weeks ago. Joining us live from Boulder Gym is John Lee. Hey, John.
Thanks, Colvin. Washington State University volleyball team is having a good season so far. After 3 consecutive away games, they were back to Paulus. The recent game they played against USC, and they made a history that first win on the road against USC since 1998. Now Cougars will face Oregon Ducks tonight, but my only concern is they're typically lost against them. If we look at history record, we had 22 longest losing strikes, and if we look at most recent matches up, we lost 9 games. However, the team has high expectations on our offensive duo, number 6, Jocelyn Julius, and number 7, Pia Timmer, who scored 18 points and 17 points, respectively, and also Hannah Pukis, who assisted 53 times against USC. On the other side, if we look at Duck side, if we can defend number 4, Willow Johnson, who is a most scorer for Ducks, and we should have a chance to win tonight's game. So go Cougs. Back to you, Mr. White.
That's John Lee reporting live from Bowler Gymnasium. Thanks, John. Cougar Fall sports are well underway. Sean O'Connor visited a lesser-known sports team here in Pullman, the rugby team.
When you think of fall sports at WSU, you might think of football or soccer.
On that far side, she sends it in. Gets to ground and through and in.
But there's another fall sport that might pique your interest, and that's rugby. Rugby is a club sport at WSU. The Wazoo men's team plays other club teams in the area, like the University of Washington and Boise State. For many players, WSU was the first time they'd ever played rugby.
WSU, when I was a freshman, my brother's a senior, and he was on the rugby team, so he brought me out to a practice. I came out and I just loved the sport from the beginning.
This year's team features plenty of new faces, leading to some growing pains in game 1.
With the amount of new guys we have, we don't have like a ton of depth right now. So first game, we're just ironing out, the kinks, but I think the rest of the season's gonna go great. I'm pretty happy with how the club's going right now and the direction we're headed.
Despite a rough 20-3 loss in their first game of the season at Boise State, the team has remained close.
Definitely a tight bunch. I mean, when you travel to games, you sit in a van for a couple hours, you kind of bond over that. Plus, with practice, you see each other 3-4 times a week, and we all hang out before football games and after football games. There's a lot of bonding events throughout the year.
The team continues their season tomorrow at 2 p.m. in Boise. Sean O'Connor, Murrow News 8.
The MLB League Championship Series kicks off this weekend in the National League. The Washington Nationals are facing off against the St. Louis Cardinals right now. The Houston Astros advanced to the ALCS last night after defeating the Tampa Bay Rays 6-1. Garrett Cole was dominant for the Stros last night, pitching 8 innings and striking out 10. The Astros will battle the New York Yankees tomorrow night in Houston for Game 1. The WNBA's Washington Mystics have won their first championship in franchise history. The Mystics scored 89 points last night against Connecticut Sun. This is 2-time MVP Alana Delle Donne's first WNBA title. She scored 21 points despite her herniated disc. The final score was 89-78. That's today's sports news. Murrow News 8 has your weather with Logan Plant next. Stick around.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
There. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Welcome back. It's been a cold week. Logan, how does the weekend weather forecast look?
Yeah, Celeste, it's been a really weird week weather-wise. Earlier in the week, we even saw some snow. I'm sure a lot of you out there weren't expecting to clean your car off with some snow on Tuesday morning, but it's what we had to do. But luckily, things are going to calm down a little bit over the weekend. Taking a look at today, we had a high of 52 degrees, and tonight, just around freezing at 32. The sun will set at 6:09 p.m. Winds 17 miles an hour, a little bit blustery, but nothing too bad. Let's take a look at tomorrow for your Saturday. Be a high of 59 degrees and get down to 36 degrees in the evening. Partly cloudy, but mostly sunny. No rain yet. We'll see that a little bit later in the week. 9 miles an hour your winds. Sun will rise 7:02 a.m. and set at 6:08 p.m. Let's move ahead now. Taking a look across the state, over here on the east side of Washington, up in Spokane, pretty similar to Pullman, a little bit chillier. Got 29 degrees there. And a high of 54. Pullman, as we've seen, just around freezing tonight. Over in central Washington, 61 degrees in the Tri-Cities and 59 in Yakima with lows high 20s, low 30s. Over on the west side, if you're traveling across the state like me this weekend to see the Jonas Brothers concert in Tacoma, you're looking at 63 degrees and a low of 42 tonight, and 63 in Olympia and 36. Let's move ahead now to the 5-day forecast. And on Sunday, cloudy skies, high of 55. We see this all week going into the middle of next week, highs in the 50s and the low 60s. But then on Tuesday and Wednesday, small chance of rain on Tuesday and definitely some showers on Wednesday. Sees temperatures staying pretty consistent throughout the week though. So no snow for the time being, but do prepare for some rain next week. I'll send it back to you at the desk.
Japan is preparing for lockdown as a storm approaches the island nation. NHK News reported that Typhoon Hagibis, which is expected to roll in tomorrow, could bring record-breaking wind and rainfall to Kanto region, including Tokyo. The storm is also headed for the Chiba Prefecture, which is still recovering from a typhoon from last month. The storm could match the strength of a 1958 storm in Japan that killed 1,200 people.
And here we have a live look at the Snoqualmie Pass. After being blanketed in snow earlier this week, what you just saw was most of the cold stuff has melted away, leaving the roads clear with no restrictions. So if you're headed back to the west side of the state, there's a 20% chance of snow on Sunday, but it will mostly be a rain-snow mix, causing no problems for drivers. A wildfire broke out near Los Angeles last night. Learn about the damage
when Murrow News 8 returns.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. If an earthquake were to happen right now, would you know what to do? Murrow News 8 reporter John Lee will tell you how to prepare for the potential disaster.
Earthquakes happen when the rock underground suddenly shifts along a fault. Since Pullman is not near any of these major fault lines, many people here are less aware of the general tips to stay safe during an earthquake.
Because I think a lot of people who live on the east side of the Cascades feel like we're exempt from earthquakes, and really that's not the case. Seattle and Portland and California and the risks of earthquakes there, I think we've been sort of complacent in thinking that we don't have anything to worry about.
Earthquakes are much harder to predict compared to other natural disasters. To ensure safety, people should be educated on safety tips and prepared with at least 3 gallons of water per person, canned foods, and first aid supply kits at a moment's notice.
Inside of an earthquake, there are 3 steps to do immediately. Drop, cover, and hold on. Drop right where you are onto your hands and knees. Move under something to protect from falling debris. If you don't have anything to hide under, at least stay away from the window until shaking stops.
If you're outside, remember to stay away from any buildings. People who run around or into buildings have a higher chance of getting injured.
There's a lot of science, a lot of data from previous disasters and earthquakes that have shown when people try to run, then they get injured. And so instead, if people drop, cover, and hold on and stay where you are, they stay safer.
The Washington State Emergency Management Team wishes for more people to pay attention and understand the seriousness of the hazards or risks of earthquake.
But once you understand what the hazards and the risks are, you know what to do to protect yourself. You start taking action to do that, right? That's going to help you psychologically.
Be prepared, stay safe. John Lee, Murrow News 8.
About 100,000 people in Los Angeles are evacuating their homes. AP News reports that a wildfire on the edge of the city has already damaged 25 homes and 23,000 residents are under evacuation orders. The fire broke out Thursday night and covered 7 square miles as of this morning. The fire department says that 1 man has died from cardiac arrest.
The Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed today. He received recognition for his efforts to end Ethiopia's bitter, long-running border conflict with Eritrea, which has lasted over 2 decades and killed about 80,000 people. According to the Associated Press, Ahmed won over projected favorites like 16-year-old environmental activist Greta Thunberg. The Nobel Committee praised Ahmed for his efforts to achieve peace and international cooperation. One dog is so famous, he got to meet Gardner Minshew.
You can learn about his history when Murrow News 8 returns.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes.
1 and 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work.
Thanks.
You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for 1. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment.
He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching.
That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back to Murrow News 8. I have to tell you about this guy that's super popular in Pullman. And guess what? He's standing next to Gardner Minshew in this picture. I've been following this adorable dog around since March, and here's the reason why the puppy is popular around the Palouse. This dog is helping save patients with leukemia. Meet Dash. He went viral last year because of this video. Dash was at a Mariners Bark at the Park game holding a hot dog in his mouth long enough so his owner could snap this picture. Dash did all this while balancing a hat on his head. The unique footage caught the attention of Good Morning America producers, and the video ended up on the show. So, how is this perky pup helping people with blood cancer? Well, Dash is raising $100,000 for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society through an event called the Ironman World Championship. This is considered the most challenging one-day event in the world. This triathlon is a grueling 140.6 miles and is held annually in Kona, Hawaii. This event is so prestigious that over 80,000 athletes from around the world compete for only 2,000 slots available. Invitations are also given to famous people through the Ironman Legacy program. Dash became so popular that his owner got a slot for the prestigious event. Dash's owner, Andy Edlund, is a WSU alumnus. He'll be swimming, biking, and running at the 41st Annual World Championship on October 12. Edlund says that he enjoys that Dash makes a lot of people happy.
So much fun to see like the reaction that Dash causes, The comments that we see sometimes on his page are just, I love this dog. Every time I'm feeling down when I see Dash's photo, it brightens my day. It's really cool to be part of something like that.
Malou Santos, Murrow News 8.
Well, what a cute pup. Thank you so much for watching Murrow News 8 tonight, and be sure to watch our live newscasts at nwpb.org/mn8 and on Cable 8 at 7 and 10.
Don't forget, you could also follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter.